Whew, that is moving. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Jason with Wolf Overland. I do Jeep installs, Jeep Gladiator stuff. I have an Eco Diesel, and all my content is stuff like that. Give me a like and subscribe. And I want to go over water crossings. Water crossings are fun. They can also be scary if you've never done them before. We're going to go over a couple things that you probably need to know before you do water crossings. There's a couple things in your vehicle you need to do or kind of be aware of before you do a water crossing and after you do a water crossing. If you don't have your diff breathers raised up after you do your water crossing, you might want to check your diff fluid and make sure you didn't suck in water. You want to check your air filter after you do a water crossing and make sure that your air filter is dry and you ingest water into the airbox portion of your intake system. All right, Justin started getting a flashing check engine light. We pulled the airbox out. The air filter is completely soaked wet. We have water in the intercooler tube, so we blew it all out, and we're gonna go head up the street to AutoZone and get a new air filter for him.
Everybody needs to know only submarines need snorkels. This would have fallen apart and went through my turbo. It would have been a bad day.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Jason. I owe you a big one.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know that. I love.
Now, obviously, if you're gonna be doing this a lot, or if you want to be better prepared, ARB, I'll link it below. ARB makes a diff breather kit that you can make work with your current vehicle. AEV and ARB do make snorkel kits. Now, when installing snorkels, it's important that you go through and you actually seal up your airbox, because a lot of manufacturers have baffle tubes to minimize that noise, and they also do have drain holes to drain the water out of your airbox that can also double as they can also ingest water. So you want to seal your airbox, you want to install a raised air intake, you want to make sure your front diff, rear diff, and a lot of the cars, Toyotas and Jeeps included, the transmission and the transfer case have a breather, but they're normally tied together and up by the front diff. So you can normally just tee into the factory ones and just raise them up a little bit higher under the hood. As far as getting water in your vehicle, I've never gotten water inside my vehicle, and I've been through 4-foot, river crossings and whatnot. I've never gotten water in my vehicle unless I stopped. But I've never stopped, so I've never gotten water in. But the door seals on the newer Jeeps are extremely tight, and the Toyota ones, well, they're just super tight. And not only does that not allow water and noise in, but you could maintain that by using, well, Honda, we call it Shinichi grease, but there's a lithium-based grease that you can lube those door seals to keep them moist and kind of suction cuppy to the frame, which will help water not getting in if you did have to stop. Jeeps have drain holes on the floor, which allow you to drain out the water should you have to stop in a water crossing. But you don't want to do that because you still got to pull the carpet out. I mean, I can pull the carpet out in like 30 minutes. I had a 1-gallon bottled water come loose in the passenger floorboard overnight one night, and we ended up having to pull the carpet up. So I know how to do it. It's not hard. You just got to let it all air out so you don't get any kind of mildew or anything. Let me show you some water crossings. All right, guys, for all intensive purposes, I've done this water crossing numerous times. I know that it's a solid rock bottom. It's like a bunch of just flat rock on the bottom down there. Typically, if it's a crossing that I've never done before or I'm kind of unsure of, I'll get out and I'll walk it. Yeah, you're gonna get your pants wet, but rather be safe than sorry. If there's a hole or if there's a sandbar or something like that you hit, and then once you stop your movement of your vehicle, then the water level comes up, then the water comes in. So the trick is to just keep that pace. I'm not saying go full speed into it, but just ease into it. Just keep a bow wave, just don't stop. Turn off your AC. You don't want that fan running and the compressor running. Keep one window down just in case you run into, if you do get stuck or swept away, you have a window open and you can get out. Have your diff breathers or your breather tubes raised up. Make sure you know where your intake is, or if you have a snorkel, make sure it's sealed. Sometimes people install these ARB or AEV snorkels and they don't seal up the actual box that the air filter sits in. So if that box isn't sealed, yeah, you got a snorkel, but you'll still get water. Get ready to clean out the radiator fins again. Water can be muddy and that sticks inside the fins and will cause overheating issues. It's probably best if you have a friend with you too. Well, those are some tips for water crossings. So I found a local creek crossing that's a legit legal dirt road, legit hard bottom creek crossing, but with all the extreme rain and hurricane aftermath that we've had recently here in South Carolina, the water level's a little high and the other side looks a little bit washed out. It's a little muddy. I checked it out yesterday and I definitely needed four-wheel drive to get through it because it did, you know, slide around a little bit. But I'm gonna go record it today, and it's about 8 minutes from my house, so that's cool. And guys, this is what you need to do. I know not everyone kind of lives out towards the country where you're gonna find gravel roads and creek crossings and cool stuff, but it's kind of like the whole point of this is to get out and explore and go down those gravel roads, go down, get on Google Maps and Google Earth and use a satellite view and find those gravel roads, find those backcountry discovery routes, and just get out and drive and explore it and find the cool stuff. I mean, it's out there, definitely out there, and a lot of it is closer than you think, because, you know, I had no idea this was like 8 minutes from my house, out towards the country, obviously. I moved the camera over on this side of the steering wheel on the ARB Overland dash mount system because it's closer to the A-pillar, so it doesn't bounce around enough. I kind of got a lot of bad footage from my Colorado trip because I had this mounted on the other side next to the tablet and all that. It bounced around and kind of, you know, gave me some bad video. Like, I'm still going to use some of it in my video, in my movies coming up, but it's just, you know, you want the best video, and this 4K camera really, you know, has some good highlights, but bouncing around, not cool. Alright, it's moving pretty good, so we're gonna need some high speed, so we're just gonna go into 4 high. Alright, 4 high, and I'm not gonna use any lockers because we might need some speed and kind of see what we're doing here. Whew, that is moving. Alright, we all crossed this yesterday. So it's got a solid bottom, I can tell you that, because I've crossed it before when there was no water. It's got a real solid bottom, but dang, that was cool. All right, so reminder, when going through water crossings like that, typically you want four-wheel high. With some tire spin is good tire spin, unless you need your lockers.
In 1,000 feet, turn right.
And turn off your AC and your blower motor. Having the AC on obviously turns the fan on, and having the blower motor on, sometimes you can get water that splashes through there, so having that blender closed prevents that. Just a little heads up. I've done this crossing a couple times. I know it's solid bottom. The only thing that kind of worried me was the flow. But as long as you keep moving, you're okay. The diff, front diff, rear diff, transfer case, transmission, all the breathers for that are raised up with the ARB Diff Kit, so I don't have to worry about getting water in the differentials. What else for crossing water? You want to keep a pretty good bow wave. Obviously, it's important to not stop, because when you stop, that's when the water can get in. The water inside the cabin, you got control modules, you got to pull the carpet up. Not fun. So pulling the cover off the top of the radiator, we can actually see down in there. And I took out the two 10mm bolts. But it is packed full of crap down in there. All this mud. I mean, look at that. It's just packed full of mud in there. Yeah, check this out. Move over here. See how the water gets dirty as crap? As it cleans it, comes out clear. Ah. Well, this is Moab mud. And I didn't go to Moab this year. But probably pull about 10 pounds worth of dirt out of my radiator and condenser. So those wands really made a difference. So I'm gonna go out and test this. The only test I have around here is the interstate going up to Asheville, because that mountain climb I will start to run hot on. At least my last trip out there in this heat. So we're gonna go run up there again just for testing purposes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. quite the way down.